I see you sitting there. You're thinking, oh my God, what do I do? I have this guy, and they told me to sit him, and I have these guys, and I don't know who to start. We got you back. We got your back. Producer, hit that button. Welcome to the Fantasy Forecast with Grindberg and bigz. This is the Week 14. Let's get you into the playoffs edition. I am bigz. He is Grindberg. That guy's Schultzy. And it's crunch time, you guys. This is the most important show you're going to watch because we're going to tell you who to put in your lineup to get you one step closer to that shit. How are you guys doing?
Getting pumped up. Man, you just got me really jazzed up for this weekend. It's week 14. We're super close to the fantasy playoffs, and things are happening, and I'm excited.
Things are happening.
We're excited to see. And this weekend is a huge weekend of football. Schultzy, how you doing, buddy?
Fantastic. Can't complain over here. Ready to start some guys.
All right, we'll start it off, bigz. Let's hear who you're starting. A must start. Or maybe you're cheating again, I guess.
I am cheating. All right. So, viewer, this is going to require a little bit of effort and homework on your part. Now, we always say we do the work so you don't have to, but I'm asking you to do a little bit of work this week. And that is stay vigilant when you're looking at injury announcements, because I am going to say start the vague Minnesota Vikings backfield situation. Okay, here's the thing. Aaron Jones, there's a possibility he won't play. If he does not play, you put Jordan Mason in your lineup. If Aaron Jones is going to play, you put Aaron Jones into your lineup. That's all. They have a great matchup against the Washington Commanders, and it's time for a bounce back. JJ McCarthy's coming back, and he likes to throw the ball to Aaron Jones, so that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Aaron Jones plays because he's been playing really well. His efficiency's been there on the games. He has run into some injury luck, of his age, so that might be something that we have to consider when we're playing as well. So be diligent on that injury report, folks, because like bigz said, if he's in, he's a start for me as well. So yeah, Schultzy, anything?
No, this is a great matchup. I'm all in.
All right, so I'm going to get into one of my starts here, and let's get into it. I'm going to talk about one of Schultzy's homeboys, and he just came off the IR 2 weeks ago, and it's like he never left, catching all 5 of his targets last week, 98 yards. All 5 of his targets and 98 yards since returning, and a touchdown here. He's the Jags. Ebb and flow depending on Lawrence's rhythm, and it seems to be like he's a safety blanket for Trevor Lawrence. High percentage throws here, looking really good, and he's a guy that I'm going to have on a lot of my rosters right now because I told everybody to pick him up on the waiver wire, and hopefully you did, because I think he's got a really good rest of season schedule for the Jags, and starting this week, it's not just his skill set, it's the matchup. The Colts have been one of the most generous defenses to tight ends all season, bleeding yards in the middle of the field, struggling to handle hybrid tight end slot threats like Strange. Jacksonville needs an early answer to stay on schedule, and this is a really important game for the division lead. And like I mentioned, the Colts give up a lot of points to the tight end. Strange has caught 28 of 33 targets this year, 84% catch rate, one of the most efficient marks in all of the NFL for the tight end position. And I'm liking what I see here. So when healthy, he's trusted, and he's stepping into one of the friendliest matchups a tight end could ask for. He profiles as a sneaky start in week 14 and beyond. And he's given the Jacksonville Jaguars that stability, especially when we look at how beat up their wide receiver room is. Start him this week because he opens up seams, and he's going to have that soft spot in that offense, and I'm liking it. So start Brendan Strange. Schultzy, what do you think?
I love it. He's just a really good football player. He makes the offense better. The team is 6-1 with him in the lineup. He's a crazy good blocker, which helps the run game, which turns around and helps the passing game. Like, just a great football player. The production's coming as he's ramping back up from injury, man.
We all love us some Strange. Yeah, he has, in the games that he's been healthy and a productive part of the offense, he's got a bunch of double-digit finishes, and I love it. I was on a show guesting last night, and we got into tight ends a little bit, and Strange was posed as one of the options, and I said go with him. Good matchups coming up, and good performances when he's actually healthy and on the field. Trevor Lawrence likes throwing to him. Trevor Lawrence is the most accurate he ever is when he's throwing to Strange. So, yeah, fire him up.
Looking forward to hearing who you think is a good matchup here, Schultzy. So who's your first start of the week?
Chris Godwin for me, coming back from injury here. This will be his third week back. We saw 33% snaps 2 weeks ago, 66% snaps last week. So expect that number to rise up again. We saw instant chemistry right away a little bit here with Baker Mayfield and a couple of big plays. Now, one of them was a pretty routine play that Godwin broke and just took it for like 40 yards a yak or something. But like that's what he can do. And he's just a really reliable target for Baker. And I expect that connection and chemistry to keep flourishing here. I mean, they've kind of been a trusted pair in the past few seasons here. And with like a Ibuka starting to struggle a little bit, and some of these other injuries and stuff, I think Godwin's ready to go and going to be the guy again. He's got the Saints, pretty middle of the road team against wide receivers. But like I said, I'm not super concerned about that because of the connection already established with Baker here. I think that's what's going to pull us through. And a little note here to top this off. He's just been a very good receiver against the Saints his whole career. And I was looking, actually very good against the Falcons as well. Good against the Panthers. He crushes his division rivals. 75 catches, 1,038 yards, 9 touchdowns in his career against the Saints. So, I mean, that's a good season for wide receivers, and he's done that against just the Saints in his career. Fire up Chris Godwin.
Mike Evans does that too. Speaking of the Bucks, guess who was practicing this week?
Jalen McMillan. Let's go.
Jalen McMillan.
All right, bigz. Let's get into some spotlights here, and I want to hear all about your.
Let's do it. Let's do it. My spotlight hails from the University of Oregon. He's 22 years old. He stands 6 foot 3 inches tall, weighs a hefty 180 pounds, and he's going up against the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday. Talking about Troy Franklin of the Denver Broncos. Looking back in Week 10 against Vegas, he had 9 targets, 5 catches, and a touchdown, 16 points. He's going to repeat something close to that performance. His target share was down against Washington. I don't know the reason for that, but if you look at the weeks prior to the bye week, he had 10, 8, 10, 9, and 8 targets. I think that he returns to that kind of target share against the Raiders. And look, you got Shedeur Sanders completing passes downfield against this Raiders team. Darnay Holmes got absolutely cooked for a touchdown. Troy Franklin is going to be doing that all over the place to these guys. You got Darian Rogers, who's a rookie wide receiver convert who's still learning how to play the cornerback position. They've got some free agent cast-offs that they've kind of brought into the fold. Q, Blue Kelly, Darnay Holmes. They're not good, and they're not gonna it's not like the offense is going to sustain drives against this Denver Broncos team. So the offense is going to be on the field a lot for Denver, and Troy Franklin is going to benefit from that, and you will benefit with him in your lineup.
Love it. Love us some Troy Franklin. All right, Schultzy.
Rip shade. We love some Raiders shade.
We just love some Troy Franklin, man. You know that. No Raiders shade. Let's get into my spotlight, bud. So my spotlight keeps proving why the Browns invested a second-round pick on him. He's the clear workhorse in Cleveland, 23 carries against the 49ers, adding 3 targets through the air for 109 total yards. He outproduced Christian McCaffrey last week in raw yardage. And for a rookie, he's showcasing good consistency, toughness, and volume. Judkins is, regardless of game script, he's in there and he's the engine of that backfield and, the Browns offense. And now he gets the Titans, a defense that has struggled against the run most of the year, while the Titans, they've bottled up backs last week, the Jacksonville Jaguars. That feels more like an exception to the rule. Judkins isn't just shaping up meaningful work. He's getting all the high value touches. And I think that trend is going to continue. 758 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns in just 11 games. Great production from a rookie. Samson saw 4 carries last week. So, he's hit and miss in game script. And I think this Titan situation is going to be great. They're the weakest run defense and one of the league's worst. So, liking the combination of volume, control the backfield, a soft matchup, makes him one of the safest, most appealing running back starts in week 14 and a smash pick for me. Start him confidently.
Yeah, I agree with what you said about about pretty much everything. About my one little pause here is he's just not been very efficient. He, in his past 7 games, he has not gone over 4 yards a carry. It's just been completely volume dependent. But with that said, the volume is going to be there in a pretty good matchup, and he can likely get into the end zone. So I do think it's a solid start. I just think it's worth noting that the efficiency has really not been great the last couple months.
All right.
Time for that to turn around against Tennessee.
There it is. All right. If there's a team that he can up his efficiency against, it's that one. So, all right, Schultzy, let's get into your spotlight.
Yeah, so for me, I took a big swing at John Mechie last week, and that landed on my face. He still saw 8 targets. It just nothing happened with it. And I feel like I'm taking a little bit of a swing here, especially with how things have been going for this offense and some other things I've heard people saying about him. But I still am in on Zay Flowers, man. And I think this week he's going to have a good game against the Steelers. They give up 6th most wide receiver or fantasy points to wide receivers. And we've seen guys eat them up through the air all year long. He's got, except for this last week when it was a real dud, right? He got 2 catches for 6 yards last week. Prior to that game, 5 straight games of double-digit PPR points, and that's without a touchdown. So he's getting you there with yards and catches, and he's getting volume. We're going to see at least 5 targets out of the guy, probably 5 to 8, 9 range, somewhere in there. He's got snaps that don't go away. Say what you want about Lamar, but he's still Lamar Jackson. He's another week coming off injury and, a little bit more time to heal up. I'm not putting the pitchfork in Lamar yet, not even for this season. I know a lot of people are, but I'm not quite there yet. We're going to see the volume. Like I said, he's going to get at least 5+ targets. I think that's going to get us into the 60, 70, 80 yard range. And if we're lucky, we're going to get a touchdown out of it. And I just think you go ahead, put him in. He's a pretty safe play generally. He's not going to kill you. He may not explode and be the guy that wins you your week, but he's very, very rarely the guy that's going to lose you your week. And when you're fighting for a playoff spot, sometimes it comes down to the guys that lost you the week. And I just don't think Zay's that guy.
I got something to say about Lamar Jackson.
Say it.
He's the Ravens quarterback.
There it is.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah, because for a lot of years, people thought he was the running back for the.
You're not wrong
Easy.
either.
Running backs that throws.
All right. There, Biggs. What do we got going on the network this weekend?
Well, I just traded Jackson Dart and Drake May for Brock Purdy and Joe Burrow and DK Metcalf. And you meant with Fantasy Sports Advice Network. Gotcha. Yeah, so we have a lot of content. We implore you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff. Go to the merch store, find a fancy hat like this or a fancy hat like that. Watch all our shows. We've got the Start show, this one. Go back and rewatch the Sit show, and you can also watch the Dynasty Pulse for some cool college information. Tomorrow, Breakfast with bigz, 8:30 West Coast, 11:30 East Coast. I'm going to tease you a little bit. I'm going to get graped by a BBC. I'm going to have a BBC in my mouth. You'll find out what that is tomorrow on Breakfast with bigz. Tuesday, our waiver wire and weekly recap show drops, and then points after Thursday. After Thursday Night Football, we'll deal with the starts and sits for Week 15 of these fantasy playoffs. They are finally here, and we're here for you.
We're here for you, and thanks everybody, you out there in YouTube and podcast land. We really appreciate you tuning in, and keep those liking coming, because we appreciate everybody tuning in from all of us on the network.
I got to go get my dog.
He's going to leave his dog.
He's going to get his dog.
We are here. We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.
We need new bumpers. All right. I'll see you in a bit.